Welcome, and today we've got an Audi A1 in for a cam belt and water pump. It's a diesel, it's one the lads have sold, so we're going to do the cam belt and an oil change, obviously the water pump with the cam belt. Cautionary repair, just so we know they're done, keeps the customer happy as well, knowing that peace of mind that that's done. Alright, let's get this cam belt done. Pretty straightforward, nice and easy one really. Got to get access to the cover. All these bits and pieces have all got to come off here. Coolant bottle, move that out of the way. Fuel filter out of the way. Obviously engine cover. Pop that up. So other than that, not much else. Covers here, engine mounts there. Get all these bits and pieces off, and then we can get in there. Get it timed up, get it locked off. It's a bit dirty, but this is the tool we need to use. So we've got one of these. Either one, can't remember which one it is now, but one of these, they lock off the crank, and then we've got the 2 pins. So we've got one for the diesel pump, one for the camshaft. So we'll get the engine stripped down, get all the bits and pieces out of the way. Obviously we've got to take the wheel off, the wheel arch liner off, the belly pan off, support the engine, and then we can strip everything out, get the engine locked off and start getting this changed. Right, first of all, get this coolant bottle out. Couple of T25s down there, undo those, that'll lift. Fuel lines, I tend to disconnect these, doesn't really cause them any issues. And then we can get in there. There's a couple of spline bolts for the fuel filter here, one down there, one there, one down there by the looks of it. And then we can pull this whole lot, coolant bottle, all these lines, just rest them over out of the way, get access to that engine mount and get this side cover off. I'll just pop these fuel lines off. As you can see, I've got a special little clip here. There's a couple of different types on these. There's one with smaller little holes. There is a tool that squeezes in, so choose one of these. Get it on the clips, push down, you should be able to pull it up and release it. Yeah, the other thing with these fuel lines is they are colour coded. So one you can see is blue, one's black. On the pipes you've got blue and black. Just got to make sure they go back on later on the correct ones. So now we've got that all out of the way. Just rest out of the way. I had to undo an earth strap here. Gone onto the engine mount, just taking that off. Just to release the coolant pipe it was wrapped round. So just out of the way. And then you've got a clip there, clip here. Just about to get cam belt cover off, nice and easy. Been done before, but those bolts don't look like they're in the right place. Yeah, too far around. But I'll come to that in a bit when I get the belt off. Right, now we're down to this bit. I'm going to pop that wheel off, get that side panel off, and then take the under tray off. So I'm going to get the car up in the air. So I've got the car up in the air, pop the caps off, take these off 17mm. And then we're going to get all these screws off, take this belly pan off. They're usually T20 or 25s, but these are Phillips. Someone's obviously changed them at some point. So yeah, okay, and then get up there, side panel, definitely T25s on that. There you go, look there. So we get this bit off, so we're going to do next. Right, I've got the wheel off, all the side panels off now, and get to those bolts. On the bottom pulley here, the 4 bolts there, I can detension the auxiliary belt, pin the tension out of the way. And what I like to do, when I get the engine mount off, is get a block of wood on the sump with a jack. Just support the engine, I can raise and lower it when I need to. Right, it's just in here, you've got to get the auxiliary belt off. So ideally, just need to get a spanner on here, and you can release the tension. I'll turn in a bit of tensioner. So again, I'll see that again, a bit better light if I can. And there, just turn it. And release the belt off. Bring the belt off. Gonna have to do these 4 bolts here. So I've got a block of wood under there on the sump to protect it. Taking the weight of the engine. I've already started removing the engine mount. Alright, so I've just turned the engine over. And just down there on the pulley, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, there's a little mark on the bottom pulley and on the cover, and obviously corresponds, you've got an arrow pointing upwards, and there's a inspection hole there where the pin will go in to lock the cam. But the thing is, the one for the diesel pump, it's not there. So I think whoever's done this before hasn't timed up the pump properly. So I'll get the cover off, get the bottom pulley off, get this belt off, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute, and see where that timing pin is, see where that's gone. Right, here's the bottom cover. It's got 5 T30 Torx, bottom pulley, with these spline bolts, and there's the mark I was on about earlier. I don't know if you can see that on camera very well. There's a mark there, and there's a corresponding mark on the cover. So it's just help time it up. So all about water pump down there, and then all the pulleys and everything all exposed now. So we can get in, start cracking these off. Make sure we get the engine timed up, the pins and everything. I'll show you how to do that now. So the bottom pulley, there is a little line just there. Let's see it great. Corresponds on the tool. So the light is not great. There's just in that tool there's a little arrow. Let's take this off. There's a little arrow. So it lines up with that little slot on the crank pulley itself. Well, let's get our torch right. Just got a slot on. Slots in there. Just down there, there is a little cut, a little hole on the block. So let's just I'll do this one-handed. There's a bit of dirt in there, as we expected. I'm trying to do this one-handed. Right there, that's all slotted in there. Lovely. Right, and then we have to pin this one at the top. Right, so I've checked with a mirror and a torch, and it lines up perfectly. Stops the cam from spinning, and then now let's find this one on a diesel pump. What I'm going to do is undo this tensioner. Don't even feel right that. There we go. Okay. Alright, get the losing the camera. Oh, that's one. These just loosen them off. But it can move slightly. Take this one off. And this one's loose. So it's back off. Right off and then off. look. Let's find this the diesel one, the diesel pump. Ah, there it is. Completely out of sync. It's got to be there. Like another pin. So it could be why this car had a bit of a starting issue. The fact that, oh, slipping there. It's miles off. That's better. There we go. So same again on these ones. Cut these off. So obviously aids with the tension of the belt, but those these slots, you look at those slots, needs to really be, that's not moving, really needs to be, oh, don't move, in the middle. So you can see these bolt holes here, they've been sat too far over, need to be in the middle. So when you tension the belt, the pulley will move, so you just offset them like that. But why that's not moving, I don't know. I have to give a bit of persuasion. So I'll have a quick look at that. Right, the reason why I couldn't turn the bolts on the diesel pump is because this little kiddie here, I'll just find it, you can see that, it's got a nasty little crack. So obviously as I'm doing it up on the pump shaft here, which is a tapered fit, it's opening this one up. So it's opening that up, and it means I can't turn this one, can't loosen this off. Obviously I need this loose for the to do the timing, do the cam belt. So I mean the cam one moves fine, it's lovely. Yeah, so I'm going to have to source one of these and get that on there, should be able to finish it off. Right, so I can't do much until I get one of these. Tried everywhere, there's no point getting on eBay, it'd take about a week to get here. So TPS, which is Volkswagen parts, they've got one which is going to be about 2 days. So I'll get that in and then I can get this job finished. Plenty of other stuff to do, so go and get those done, come back and get this one finished. Right, just been to TPS and picked up our new hub. Looks like it's done a modification on it or something. So you have a look at the old one there, and there's a new one. It's got this plate all built round to it, so I'm not too sure if they've done that to make it stronger, which it might be, I'm not too sure. But here's our old beaten up one, here's our new one. Get that in there. Let's make sure it fits, which I think it does. Lovely. Right, that fits. Perfect. Right, I'll get this tension off here. I've already taken, sorry, the guide wheel here. I've taken the other one here. There's one down there to take off and get this water pump off. Get the new components installed and get the belt back on. So in the kit you get these new fuel pump bolts, you get new camshaft bolts. So this one now moves, which means I can set it all up properly. So obviously there's the old bits, and some new bits here, new nuts, new bolts, new water pump. It's got a seal in there. What we'll do is we'll put some grease around there, multi-purpose grease, just to aid it when it goes in. Don't put silicone on it. And a nice new belt. I'm just going to get this pump fitted in there. And there. Get the new guides on and new tensioner, and then get the belt on. Alright, so we've got the guides and the water pump in. Just going to put this tensioner in. Got this little bit here. Get on it. And that goes in on the cover. Slides over that stud. And just down there. It's all locating, cut out there in the actual cover. So we'll slot that in. Get that in there. Down in you get. I'm gonna go in. Oh, there we go. So when we're up to this point, we need to leave the pulleys nice and free. Try and get them central. So obviously when we tension this in a minute, this pulley will move, but we can't have the bolts on stop. It's got to be slightly off. So we tension it, these pulleys will move around slightly, and tension will pull on the belt. Let's get the belt on. Right, I've got the belt on. So you can see the bolts quite central. This one's a little bit off, but should be okay. It won't move much, that one. So nice and central. So I get an Allen key, I've got it in the tensioner there. There's actually an arrow on there that shows you what way to turn it. And we need this little pin up here. Get that tool sitting there. So we've got the little pin here. We need to move that around to here. That's going to be fully tensioned, and then we can torque this up. Right, it's just nipped up. Correct torque settings, we'll torque that down. Right, so the tensioner bolt, that needs to be 20 newton meters plus 45 degrees. These ones, these are 20 newton meters as well, plus 45 degrees. The fuel pump ones, they're just 20 newton meters. Small guide here is 20 newton meters. That one down there is 20 newton meters. And then this larger one here with a 16mm, that's 50 newton meters plus 90 degrees. So once we get all those tightened up, torque down to the correct settings, take the pins out, and then we can start reassembling, putting everything back on. Right, so I've turned the engine over twice, refitted all the locking pins, they all fit fine. If they don't fit, you've got to redo the time, make sure that they're all lined up, make sure the pins go back in nice and easily, and that bottom one too. So it's all done, as you can see, and bolts are sitting central, almost central, of the pulleys of the diesel pump and the camshaft. So we'll start putting the covers back on, get this one back together. But what I'll do before I put this all back together is I'm going to fill up the coolant bottle, make sure I've got no leaks from that water pump, make sure that's nice and sealed, because I don't want to put it all back together and then have to take it all apart again, just because the seal hasn't taken. But a bit of grease on there like I've done before, it should seal quite nicely. I've got some coolant in the bottle. Can't see nothing leaking out. It's just water down there from, or coolant down there from when I've actually taken the pump out and refit the new one. There's no physical leaks, drips, so happy with that. It's all sealed. Right, so everything's all done. Timing's good, coolant's in, so I'm going to start putting this back together now. Right, I was putting this back together and I've come out of a problem, a little bit of an issue. It must have failed when I first undone it. As you can see, there's a nice hole up there. I'm about to drop this tensioner. This is dry belt tensioner, or the auxiliary belt tensioner. It's very weak. I can literally push out with my hand. Bit of a pain to do really, because you've got to get in, you've got to take the boost pipe out of the way. Right up there, you've got to get in. Little 13mm bolt round the back, bolts in backwards, so yeah, a bit of a pain. So I've just ordered one of those, they're on there, it's on its way. Now I can finish this side off and get this side cover on and everything. Alright, to get this little tensioner back in, it comes pre-pinned, which is quite handy. Drop the bottom pulley back off. I mean, I could have dropped the engine mount, but it's just easier if I just drop the bottom pulley off. I can get all this belt back on, lined up. So obviously I've removed my tool at the back, so you can see that. The inspection hole up there for the 13mm. So that's pre-pinned back in. Get the bottom pulley back on and get this belt on. Everything's back together now. I'm going to leave the cap off for a minute because I'm going to run it up, make sure I get all the air bubbles out. All filter's done. I'm going to give that a wipe off in a minute. It's a bit messy. Seals are quite brittle, quite hard on there. So yeah, doesn't look like it's been done for a while. So all levels all topped up, coolant's topped up. Yeah, just on the max. So all back together. Good. No engine lights. Perfect. Circulation there. Good sign. Now I'm happy that everything's fine, I've got no engine lights. I've turned the engine back off. I'm going to top up the oil level and then I'm going to run the engine back up, get it up to operating temperature, make sure I've got nice hot heaters, and then wait for the fan to kick in, and then I'll know that it's fully bled and it's good to go. Alright, that's it for today's video. I'm happy with everything, the car's running fine. Fans cut in, heaters are nice and hot. So this job is done and completed, ready to go to the customer. today's video. Don't forget hit the subscribe button, as we've got a lot more content on its way.